Hello friends, welcome to our special session on career counseling called Pratibha Samvardhan. Every time we try to bring for you different topics so that we could be able to give you some insightful sessions so that you can have a wonderful career. Friends, today's session is going to be one of the most vivacious session because this session is simply dedicated to all the young girls who wants to have a successful career. We would be motivating you, we would be giving you insights so that you can think about yourself, think about different parameters. Life is different for each one of us, but we believe that having a good career is important for each one of us. So, taking this account, we would like to welcome our guest, Dr. Angana Bhattacharya. Dr. Angana Bhattacharya is a psychologist. She is a senior career counselor. She is more into research and development in the area of psychology, and since many years she is working with these students. She is reading their psychology, she's helping them out so that they can find a way ahead. So I would like to welcome our guest, Dr. Angana Bhattacharya, once again. And first of all, ma'am, we would like to welcome to the CEC studios, and we believe that this session is going to be the most promising, most motivating one, because with the passage of time the trend is changing, things are changing, the scenario of living a life is changing, and every one of us wants to have a beautiful career. And when we talk about girls as a whole, every parent, every girl thinks that she wants to be at a particular point in life. Now, first of all, I would like to ask from you, we are often confused between the two words, that is a job and a career. How would you define these two words? What is the difference in between them?
Okay. First of all, thank you so much, Kitika. It was lovely meeting you. And so we started with a discussion about this topic itself. Coming back to your question, the difference between the job and the career. So I think all of us, whoever is working today, is doing a job. Irrespective of the necessity of it, why they are doing the job. So to understand the career is something that you're doing out of passion, like you really want to do, you're enjoying what you're doing, and you have also planned for it. So here comes the importance of career. So career, you cannot just switch many times. Definitely it is possible, and people are changing their career at later in their lives also, but for us today's session we will focus on girls, and definitely how they can be motivated to have a proper plan of a successful career. So coming back to job and career, what happens for women especially, job many a times takes a back seat for them, or it comes in the forefront when it is necessary. So they they have that zeal and everything after they complete their education, they want to work, then comes the time of marriage. Then they always, it is there. It is, of course, it is for some people, not for all girls, not to generalize for everybody. But still in India, if we compare like boys and girls, men and women, somehow the career, the importance of having a career is, we cannot say that they are actually equal, which is not very right in the perspective of lot of things, in the mental health perspective or in the career perspective. Both ways the person has to be happy whatever the person is doing. Sometimes it is seen that women are happy at their home as well. It is not that everybody has to have a very successful career. Having said that, lot of researches and lot of surveys, lot of studies have seen that only homemakers, like people who are just at home taking care of the household and the kids, and it is something very, very difficult. We all have done at some point of time, like household work and everything, taking care of babies, taking care of the whole family, lot of other responsibilities, and many a times it comes across as a thankless job. There's so much responsibility, and the mental health is also affected in some point of time. So if the necessity of working for the girl or for the woman is not because of money, it is not necessary as in job per se, going out of the house, having something of your own, some kind of independence. It could be financial independence, it could be learning something, doing something that you really want to do. So there are a lot of entrepreneurs coming up in today's, even in India, if you see, there are 8 million successful entrepreneurs who are females, which is not a bad number. So there are a lot of housewives like who had been homemakers. They have been doing their own bakery or small scale startups, which are really commendable. Having said that, we have to have that kind of culture at home now, that when we are the parents today, we have to bring this culture at home that girls should be motivated from a very young age, and to be told very consciously that you can also think of a very successful career. Whatever you like to do, whatever you're good at, you should have interest in that. Your personality should match with that. You should also be able to deliver what you're doing. So that skill is also necessary. So a lot of times we just think of very stereotyped career options for girls, which is again not to be told to our girls today. So moving forward, like a job is a work which you perform to earn money to support your basic needs. It can be a full-time job, it can be a part-time job, it can be like a more short-term orientation. But a career is like a long-term professional journey which you can determine based on your passions. So if we talk about 10 years back, 20 years back, 30 years back, people did not have that kind of mentality to pursue your passion. So parents would always look into like government jobs. So that was something, if we think about our father's generation. So if you're bagging a government job, it is something that that was desired. It was something, the best thing that you could do. Or like become a doctor or engineer, something which gives you really a good reputation or standard in the society. But today things are like very different for both boys and girls in that matter. Parents are also like very supportive. They tell their kids that you can do what you want to do, but sometimes there are a lot of pressure also. Like if there's a family business, so the parent will always be like you have to take up that, whatever you want to do in your education and all, like you can do some business studies or whatever, but then you have to join back to your business. Or like creative careers are not given that much of, I would say sometimes parents would not support them so much, as much support they would have given to any other professional, or where the salary would have been higher, or there's a confidence in them that they, after finishing this 4-year course, they would get a better job or something. So although things have been changing these days, we still need to be more aware for our girl child. And since the topic today we have taken about girls, of course there are a lot of issues with boys and career as well, but today we will focus about only how we can train our girls from a younger age to take informed decision, to have an understanding of financial literacy. Because if we see at home, we sometimes we don't involve children, if I'm not talking about very young children, but even college goers. So we want to keep them away from the decisions or discussions when it is money related. That is also not right, because they need to know that how much my parents are paying fees for me, what is going on in the family, what is going on in the society. The value of money is also something that they should know. To save, to have a budget, because if you see, in general, the women in the family is not given that much of importance when it comes to money matters. That is because it is just felt that it is okay for a man to take all the decision about monetary related things. So this whole dimension can only change when the husband and wife, or even like a boyfriend or a girlfriend, when they are going out for a date, we have to make it very obvious that if both are working, it is not the boy's responsibility to pay for the coffee or something. So when we are discussing about career of girls, we are also trying to bring in equality, inclusivity and everything. So why not also train the boys the male partners to be involved, to understand that it's how important career is for a woman. And so why career is important for women, we'll talk about few specific reasons. Definitely financial independence is something. How much ever there is wealth in the family, generational wealth, the husband is earning well or whatever, females or the women need some kind of financial independence. If you want to go somewhere, asking for money is, small things के लिए we should not have to ask money all the time for your basic necessities, or if you want to gift something to your own parents, which sometimes we have seen our mothers or people in the family who are homemakers, they always hesitate to take some decisions, to gift something, or to learn something, to do a course, for example, in the later age also. They cannot take that decision because they are not financially independent. Also, learning about what is happening in the outside world, it is very important. Like, आप कितना भी social media पे हो, or you're watching news, you're reading newspapers, unless and until you go out, like step out physically of the house, you are not able to become aware of lot of things that are happening in the society, in the in the streets, in the offices, in the malls, in the shopping areas. So everything is online these days. So people can just sit at home for years and years, and you can function in that way. But you are missing out on so many things if you're not like coming out of your house. So becoming independent is very important. You also improve on your relationships, so both personal and professional. When you are at home, at every phase of life, I believe, like when you are in school, you're in college, if you're having only online classes, it gives a very I should say it's a difficult situation for everybody. And if you're stuck inside a home with 4 or 5 people, even if they are your family members, your loved ones, it is very difficult to just continue that in a closed environment. That kind of space is important when you move out of the house and you do something on your own. When you are working, you come back home, you are like a different person. You have that energy, you feel fresh from within, and then you start again with a lot of more motivation, energy, interest also when you're coming back in the evening to your family, to your kids. Rather than if you see that if you're all day, you're home and you're waiting for other people to come. So there's a difference. So even professional relationships improve. Having said that, like you learn how to deal with lot of things, how you're dealing with your emotions. For example, at home you can deal with your anger in a particular way, but you cannot do that at your work. So you also evolve, you also learn, you also grow as a person. So professional relationships improve, and it makes you also very much confident about yourself, how you deliver your communication, how you talk to people, how you avoid some things, how you overlook certain things which we don't do in a personal relationship. You also know when you are criticized, you know how to deal with it. You have to learn how to criticize others also in a polite way. If you have to learn how you have to be assertive in certain situations, say no to people, but in a professional manner. So those things also are like soft skills of personal development. You also appreciate equality, and you kind of respect the earning members. So what happens when the person is earning, for example, the male member of the person, we have a different kind of respect for them, being the sole bread earner of the family sometimes, but it is more of a I should say, of course respect is there, but a bit of sometimes you're scared to take certain actions, or to speak against the person just because the person is the sole earning member. So you also understand how difficult it is to go outside and earn. Sometimes that is also important to know. So when we are at home and we are just having things served as it is coming, it does not, it is not fair on the part of the other person also. So that is one thing we understand other human behavior. Your self-esteem increases a lot. This is, I think, the most important thing, and you feel empowered. Why women should have a career, I think this is the first thing that should come. Like, your self-esteem increases, you become more confident, you just, there is no comparison basically when you have that kind of decision making power in your hand. Also, the most important thing again is that for working women who are moms, so it is like a never ending debate that, which age is good for the mother to work, which, should you take a break or not, or it is completely okay when you're like just 4 weeks, the baby is 4 weeks old, if you should go back to your work, when to resume work. So that is like an unending debate. I would say that it is completely personal. It is individual opinion. Individual has to understand when the person is ready. But coming back to whether you should work or not, it is very important for a mother to work, especially today, because you are the role model for your kids. And I'm not saying only if you have daughters who are seeing you that, comparing a mother who is taking the career, like, it is okay if I'm doing something, or I should have a proper ambition as a career woman. The mothers who have boys, for them also it is equally important to show how a family runs when the mother is working. So these young boys are also going to, grow up in some years, and they are going to have life partners who would definitely be working, and how they are going to treat them. So today also we would say that it is not 100% equal when we look at the treatment that working women get at home and working men who are getting like at home. So we have to change certain perspectives, and for that we need to train our boys too. Again, some important things that we learn, lot of life skills when we are like, when women are working, they are having a career. So it is not only about the job. When they are going out, they learn a lot of life skills which are really important for their professional perspective also, as well as their personal growth. We also need to learn to let go. So when it comes to women, we cannot compare and compete with men. So like we were discussing, we have mostly, again, having a child is not like, a mandatory thing these days. A lot of couples are deciding not to have children, but women who want to have children at the peak of their career, we also need to know that we have to let go of something. So when we are going to work, when we are having a career, we are deciding that yes, we want to take up this and it is important to us, so we have to let go of certain things. So whatever it is, having being present 24/7 at home is not considered to be the only way that you can raise children. So children will be raised, we have to give them quality time, we have to give them, the things and the time and the affection and the energy that they need. But a mother's job is not only to take care of the home and the children. So we have to cater to this, we have to understand this, we have to tell everybody around that how important for women to have a career is. We also inspire people. So when we are taking a back seat, we are kind of showing other people also that it is not important. And when we are doing something unknowingly, we sometimes inspire a lot of people. So that also is one reason that if we are taking some step ahead, we are inspiring other people too. We also know the value of time. You control your life. You also help financially in decision making and other things, which is also important in today's, the cost and everything, looking at everything. So we value money and respect other earning members. We create employment for others too. So when we are going to work, there are a set of other people also who are getting employment for that reason. So which is also important, like there could be a driver, there could be a nanny, there could be, other caretakers, daycare employees. So it's a circle again. So making boys ready for career oriented partners in later life is also something which is really important, and today's career women needs to understand that and instill that psychology, I would say, in their boys, so that when they grow up, we do not need to even talk about this. This should come naturally to them, that women should be given this, women should be given they should be motivated for work, they have to be given equal rights, they have to be catered at home too. They also need their space, they need to be given that space for looking at their own health, looking at their own mental health, not only physical health. So we hope that in 5 years or 10 years down the line, we do not even need to have a session like this. So it is already there in the society, it is present, that boys and girls and all the stereotypes that we still have. Of course there has been a lot of change, but we do have. So next we can talk about how do we understand that what is a right career for a girl. But definitely here we would not say that this is the only way for a girl or a boy. The best way to understand that how do you choose your career, there are 3 aspects: interest, aptitude and personality. So interest is something which generally by the time you are 7 years, 8 years of age, you have a stable understanding of your interest. So some kids would be more into the creative side, they would draw, paint, do crafts, etc. Some kids would be more into music or dance or theatre. Some would be into sports, some would be into gaming, so which is like a very hot career these days. So interest is something that is understood and it is kind of more visible. So it is little easier for parents also to identify what the interest is of children. Now coming to the second point, which is the aptitude. So aptitude is the ability, whether you have that ability to take up that particular career or not, is something that we need to test, which generally is done through psychometric testing. Also sometimes school grades and academics also show certain things, but only to a certain extent. The last thing is the personality. So personality is also very important, and I think the most crucial part, to understand that everybody is not suitable for every job. So to be aware of your own personality and to understand that what best suits me, we'll talk about few career options which are personality oriented, like what kind of personality if you have, then what kind of career could be suitable for you. So if you're analytical and detail oriented, you could take up data analyst, research scientist or financial analyst, these kind of career. If you're more into creative and artistic side, then graphic designing, UI UX, filmmaking, YouTuber, influencer, interior designer, these kind of profession you could take. If you think that you're very good in leadership activities, leadership, being ambitious from a very young age, so you could look for entrepreneurship or politician or executive leadership kind of roles. If you feel that you're empathetic and compassionate, counseling or psychologist, social worker, nursing, so these kind of profession could be good. If you are more of a risk taker or adventurous, then adventure tour guide, travel blogger, pilot, these kind of profession. Engineer, IT specialist, mathematician, these professions would be better if you're more of like logical and problem solving personality. If you're good in communication and social interaction, then public relations specialist, event planner, sales manager. Innovative and tech savvy, then you could look into software development, technology entrepreneurship, UX designer again. If you really love nature and you're like an outdoorsy person, then environmental scientist, park ranger, landscape architect, things like that. If you're health conscious, nutritionist, dietitian, fitness trainer, medical researcher. So we will again talk about other things.
Definitely, we have a lot more to learn
Yeah.
from you, because we believe that you are the right person to talk on today's topic, because you're dealing with number of the students, especially the girls too, who would be facing lots and lots of dilemmas, as well as would be suffering through number of problems too. Sometimes they are no, they are there are lots of obstacles before her, whether to pursue a particular career or not, because in the present scenario too, we find that girls facing problem, yeah, this career is not good for you.
True.
You'll be facing certain problems after some time. So there are a lot more questions pertaining to this particular topic we would be asking from you. So we would like to tell our friends, you have this excellent opportunity to talk to Dr. Angana Bhattacharya through this session of ours. We would be talking more on this. So keep watching us. Thank you.